And also the fact that we are thrilled to welcome Tim back. He is one of our favorites. I'm not allowed to say that he is our favorite, but you know. And with Gator a Go-Go, his 11th novel. So let's have a really big, warm round of applause. Welcome back to Vero.
Thank you very much for coming. I'm probably going to have to, because I come here, this is actually my 13th total time, because I came a couple times off season, and I see, hey Jim, I see so many friends that you all know all my, give me these stories and stuff, so I'm going to need some questions to go along. I do have some interesting things that have happened since the last tour. Oh, by the way, let me do this ahead of time, and I'll tell you why. I have some relatives in the audience I'm going to introduce. But you know how I take the pictures for the website? So I'll dispense with this ahead of time. I guess I should have warmed you up, because nobody's going to be smiling. Hold on. Oh, jeez. Okay. When I wave, here, you lean a little. Can everybody? Okay. When I wave back like I finished my presentation. You had the best time. Okay. 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 One more for. Okay. For good luck. Now I take the pictures before I mention this next part, because I do Photoshop, and if you need to come up afterwards, because there was this couple got married here, and it was very sweet. And actually, there was another couple that, and true story. And I had, if you know the Sarasota area, the Selby Library, very nice library. I went there 2 years in a row, and pardon me a second. And these two people came up before the event and said, sincerely, that Tim, like you'd meet, Mrs. So-and-so, and you're the reason we got married. We came here to your event last year. It's sort of similar to how the people came, 3 years ago and met at my, well, except it's a different circumstance, I swear. What happened was they came to my event the year before, and I took the group picture and I put it up on my website, except they were married to other people at the time. And they got busted for my website. So. I do what I can for love, But what can I say? I'm working on the next book. Well, I'm supposed to talk about this book, but the next book's already done and in, and the one after that, I'm most of the way through the first draft. And I'm trying to work in stories, and people keep feeding me stories. It's like people know that my newspaper background. That's where the Floridians know that I don't make this like Dave Barry. I don't make this stuff up. I just read the papers, and I'm just stealing money basically. But there are stories that I have a list of that I get fed. And my father-in-law gave me this one. That I'm trying to work it into the story, but I don't know, because the thing is, you want your books to be more interesting and exciting, so that they can be escapism, and you want them to be a little more out there than reality, yes, but not too far ahead of reality. Except this is Florida, so no, seriously. I mean, there's no end in sight. There's no. It just gets weirder and weirder. So it's a constant race, and what you're trying to do is you turn the books in. It takes a year to get published, so you're waiting. And you just can't wait for the book to come out, because you just keep reading the papers, please, nothing weirder than what I wrote. And inevitably, you'll get leapfrogged. And I don't know, you probably, how many, not to put anybody in the spot, read Nuclear Jellyfish? Okay, so you know what happened there, and that was, I had turned the book in already, and like I said, you don't want to go over it. If I had written this story before it actually happened, I would have been dismissed in my career. I've been dismissed as bad fiction writer. But during one of my tours, and I think I maybe have mentioned this, so if I've told the story before, pretend I haven't, lead your row in laughter. But I was on tour, and I kept having to type in with my laptop changes to my books, because it was the next one was in production. And I was down, and I was driving down the Florida Turnpike past the Hard Rock Hotel that's like Broward, Miami-Dade, I forget which side of the county line. I was going to Key Largo, and I arrived in Key Largo for my book signing that night, And they said, hey Tim, I got there early and there were a few people in the seats. Did you hear who died at the Hard Rock Hotel? And I said, well, I just drove past that. No, who? Anna Nicole Smith. And then there's other people in the audience like, is Serge the father? And I was like, it's not funny. It's not, not enough time has passed yet. So, but the big one was, and so I'm taking notes, and I've got this book that's already turned in. I'm like, great. And then before that, on the way south, I was in Orlando and I did some signings on Saturday and a Sunday afternoon, and then after that I drove Sunday afternoon over to Cape Canaveral. I had a book signing in Cocoa Beach the next day. And I turned on CNN. Well, as I'm driving, Orlando, Cape Canaveral, little do I know, coming in behind me at the same time, driving straight through from Houston to Orlando. With the astronaut, right? So I'm looking at like a nuclear jellyfish, and I go, great, So, I got to get it in the book, because then that's one if I had written it ahead of time, and you couldn't. But now that it's out there, so again I got leapfrogged. So I go into the book, and at the beginning, for those of you who read it, you remember this. Serge keeps flipping down the sun visor and staring up starry-eyed at this photo that he's got taped up there, and he just keeps doing that. And Coleman says, "What's the deal? You keep looking up that picture." And he goes, "I'm in love for the first time in my life." And Coleman says, "But that's just that batty astronaut that drove all night in diapers to attack the rival." And Serge says, "I know that chick's focused." So,